and welcome to Infertility Unfiltered, where fertility experts and warriors are joining forces to share tips, tricks, information, facts, inspiration, and lessons for how you can take back control of your life and get your baby on board. Hi, I'm Jennifer Robertson, and today we are completely honored to be joined by Anna Reyes. Now, Anna is a certified holistic nutritionist who helps future mums who'd like to have the best possible chance of getting pregnant, prepare their body for a healthy pregnancy, and bring back a healthy baby, even if they pursue fertility treatment as well. So for the past 2 years, Anna has helped a lot of women to realize their main dream to become a mum. In her practice, she looks at every client holistically and offers 100% customized experience based on the fertility journey, charting, and functional testing results. Now, today we are actually going to be talking about something that is really important: food intolerances and allergies and the impact on fertility. And she's going to provide you with three tests that you can do to determine what foods you should be staying away from. And if you stick around to the end, you can get your hands on her free fertility quiz to determine how fertile you are. So thank you so much for joining us today, Anna Reyes.
Thank you, Jennifer, for having me. I'm so happy to be on your podcast.
Thank you. I love having you here. Now, before we dive into food, fertility, all of those things, I would love for you to tell our audience a little bit about you and what got you into this field.
That's a really great question. I've been doing it for around 2 years. And what brought me to this field is actually my babies, because with my first baby, I was struggling to conceive. I didn't go through all hoop and loops like a lot of women are going through. However, that was a time when I was frustrated, when I was going into the bathroom, getting that pregnancy test and hoping that this is the month. I feel it, I have all the symptoms, so that is it. And then looking at the test and being so discouraged and having all my hopes down. So after we were able to conceive after some radical changes, which I will be talking about during this interview. And when we decided to go with a second baby, so we went completely on a clean diet, you name it, and we were able to conceive immediately. So that was my hint. And that was a sign that, you know what, I'm on the right route. I'm doing something which I should help everybody else to do the same.
Absolutely. And food has such a huge impact, not just on our fertility, but absolutely everything. So can you tell us a little bit about, what's the difference between a food allergy and a food intolerance, and what impact do they have on fertility?
Absolutely. So whenever we have a food allergy, we actually can see the reaction right away. So if you eat something wrong, or I know that a lot of listeners may be even allergic to peanuts or coconuts, so that will be the top allergen foods, or seafood, and they will start feeling, they will have either rashes or they will have a hard time breathing. So this is the immediate reaction. And these we have the special cells called IgE, so that's the one which will help us to clear up all these allergens. So whenever we have the food intolerance, that is not the immediate reaction. We will see the reaction somewhere between 12 to 48 hours. And the hardest part is that both of them has the negative impact on our fertility, because both of them causes inflammation. The problem with food intolerance is because you don't see the immediate reaction, and sometimes you don't associate the way you feel with the certain foods you eat. For example, a lot of people are intolerant to gluten, and a couple of maybe 6 to 12 hours after, they'll start feeling bloated, and they will feel, well, it's my normal condition, I just feel bloated all the time, but they won't associate it with the food which they actually ate before. So that's why it's different. Whenever with food allergy, you can identify the food almost right away. With food intolerance, you cannot. So, and the reason how both impact the fertility is the way that it causes inflammation in your body. And whenever your body is in the state of inflammation, the only way it's concentrated is making sure that everything else in your body is operating the right way. And obviously, the reproductive system is not the priority in this case. So our body is designed the way that it wants to protect you at first, and then whenever it's healthy, it's feeling great, that's when it can concentrate on the reproductive system, because it want to make sure that you and your baby at the end will be safe and healthy.
Absolutely. I love that. And I love how simple you make it sound as well. But it's not really that simple, you know. My little boy has an allergy to peanuts. And so obviously that is really easy to detect, because as soon as he
Right.
has, you know, comes in contact with peanuts, like he has a physical reaction. But as you say, intolerance is something that is so hard. So that's exactly what we're going to talk about right now. What are some tests that that our audience can do right now that will be able to determine what food they're intolerant to?
So there are a lot of ways to determine. The only question is what will be the most precise way, right? So in my practice, I found there are 3 ways to determine and eliminate some food intolerances. So I'm going to go with the one which everybody can do at home. So the first 2 will be 2 type of diets. Number 1 is elimination diet. So that one is less strict. It's convenient. However, it will take quite a bit of time, because you want to make sure that you eliminate food for quite a long period of time, normally 8 weeks. And then whenever you start incorporating these foods back, you want to have a diary, to make sure that the food which you're eating, if it's caused reaction or not. So you will track your symptoms, you will track exactly the time you were eating it. So that's quite a long process.
Okay, so
Normally,
do you eliminate one food at a time? Okay, all right. And so what kind of foods what process would you take us through with the elimination diet?
right. So you actually eliminate normally 6 foods at the same time, because these are the common allergens. So this would be wheat, eggs, dairy, peanuts, soy, and seafood. So this will be the top 6 allergens, which can cause reaction in your body. So you will eliminate those ones for 8 weeks. And then if you still feel that you're bloated, you could keep moving with eliminating more allergens, because there's so many of them, right? We can go with nuts, we can go with beans, we can go eliminate all the type of grains which have any connection with gluten. So they're calling them cross grains. So there's a lot of things which you can eliminate, right? The purpose of that exercise is to make sure that if you eliminate certain foods, you actually feel better, and you will feel better right away. You won't feel bloated, you will feel lots of energy, your sleep may even improve, and obviously your fertility will improve too. You'll have better libido. Say that way too, right? So once you went through that exercise, that's when you start adding foods and making sure that you don't have that reaction on the food.
Okay, so you just add one food group
one food at a time, with 3 to 4 days in between.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. And the second method?
So the second one will be extreme one. So that's when you go and eliminate pretty much everything. So the diet called autoimmune protocol. That's the type of the paleo diet. So that's when you eliminate all the grains, nuts and seeds, dairy, obviously gluten, soy, all beans, soy are beans, soy, peanuts, and eggs as well. And then you follow for the diet for around 8 weeks as well. And then you start incorporating foods back based on the least allergic of them, and see how you're going to feel. So this is the most extreme, but the most effective in a way, because you literally eliminate everything and let your body do the natural cleanse or detox, if you want to call it.
Perfect. And the last test?
So last test will be the functional test based on the blood, on your blood. And there are a couple of pluses. Number 1, not a lot of people would wanna to eliminate everything from their diet. So let's be honest, if you're already going through infertility, you're going to fertility clinic, you already have a protocol in there to follow. and then you add extra stress in your body to eliminate like tons of food from your diet. So A, it's not sustainable. It's really hard to follow, right? So this test is actually going to show what exactly food. So you will eliminate the steps of uncertainty of which exactly foods you're allergic to or intolerant to, and you're going to go straight into test, which is going to measure your immune cells. They're called IgG, and then they will give you the list of the foods which you're specifically intolerant to. And another thing is that whenever you see those foods, it's motivating you too, right? Because it's based on the blood and it's your individual foods. It's not like I'm going to eliminate everything and find out which are the foods I'm intolerant to, right?
And I'm assuming it is a lot quicker as well because you don't have to go through the 8 weeks and then the reintroduction. So it's a pretty much, and I think on this journey, like we just want to get to the end as quickly as possible and stop waiting. So this is a really good way of getting the results straight away.
Absolutely. And when we talk about fertility, time matters.
Yes. And what are the disadvantages of it?
So the disadvantages would be the cost. You can get that test only through the health professional. So like, for example, for myself or through the doctor. Some doctors work with a lab to get those ones done. So the cost would be the main issue of that.
Okay, excellent. All right. And so those are the 3 tests.
Right.
Absolutely. And once they find out the results and everything like that, they can, modify their diet, feel better, and reduce the inflammation, which provides a cleaner pathway to conceiving.
Right. And then whenever our body does not have inflammation, it goes back into its natural balance. And when your body is in balance, that's when the egg quality improves, the conditions for your baby to grow improve, and then your baby health and development will not be impaired as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Anna Reyes. Thank you for joining us. That was all very helpful. Now, how can people get in contact with you after this, and how can they get their hands on your free fertility quiz as well?
So they can go on my website, naturafertility.com, or they can connect with me on Facebook. Anna Reyes would be my profile, and I'll be happy to help them out.
Excellent. And I'll put all of those details and links on the details below this video as well. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining us too. So if you love this interview just as much as I did, please feel free to give it a little love, give it a like, share it, and subscribe to this channel as well, because there are so many videos, so many helpful tips and tricks as part of this Infertility Unfiltered series. So thank you for watching.